It all began with an unthinkable betrayal. My own brother, the one I'd been forced to protect my entire life, got my fiancée pregnant. The fallout? My father gave him the family business, a house, and effectively erased me. But I wasn't just going to stand there and take it. I decided they would all pay. Okay, people, this is going to be a long one, but I desperately need to get this off my chest. What's happened in my family recently has shattered everything I thought I knew, but to truly understand the depth of it, you need the full, painful context. I'm 33 years old, and I grew up with my younger brother, Alex, who's 30. From the outside, we looked like a perfectly normal family, but deep down, the dynamics in our house were severely messed up. See, Alex was a miraculous baby. My mom had a really difficult pregnancy with him, and he was genuinely sick for the first couple of years, in and out of the hospital with breathing problems and infections. I remember sitting in those cold waiting rooms a lot as a kid, feeling scared. I get it, having a sick child is terrifying. But even after Alex recovered, my parents, especially my dad, continued to treat him like he was made of fragile glass. Meanwhile, I was expected to be the perfect, responsible older brother, always knowing better. Alex could miss school. He needed to recuperate. Alex failed a class. He'd been through so much. Alex broke something expensive. Don't be upset with your brother. What about me? From the age of 7, I was supposed to get perfect grades, never talk back, work around the house, and basically act like a small adult. The double standard was absolutely ridiculous. I still remember in high school, I got detention for being late to class and was grounded for a week. That very same month, Alex was caught skipping school to hang out at the mall with his friends, and my parents just had a talk with him about it. No consequences. When I was 15, I started working with my father in his electrical business. Not because I was passionate about being an electrician, but because it felt like the only way I could ever get his attention, his approval. And you know what? I actually got really good at it. I started learning everything I could about electrical work, staying late to watch Dad handle the tough jobs, devouring manuals, watching YouTube videos to learn more. Meanwhile, Alex remained, well, Alex. He was smart when he wanted to be, but he had absolutely no work ethic. He'd charm everyone with his sad little sick kid routine, which he never outgrew. He tried college for 2 semesters, dropped out because it was too stressful. He started an online business selling dropship junk that completely flopped. Then he tried being a day trader, losing a lot of my father's money. But still, I was the one getting lectures about supporting my brother and putting family first. I won't lie, it made me feel this strange mix of hatred and responsibility. I loved him because he was my brother, but I couldn't stand being around him most of the time. We were complete opposites. I was the serious, hardworking one who valued keeping my word and doing things right. He was the fun one who never faced repercussions and believed rules were for other people. Dad's business was solid, basic home electrical work, some small commercial stuff, nothing groundbreaking, but it paid the bills. I saw potential in it, though. When I wasn't working, I was studying new technologies, smart home systems, security installations. Dad was old school, preferring to do things the way he always had. But I insisted on modernizing and taking on larger projects. The frustrating part was that even when I brought in new clients or completed a massive project flawlessly, Dad would find a way to credit Alex. Your brother's charm really helps with customer relations, he'd say, just because Alex answered phones sometimes. Or, Alex has such good ideas for the business. He suggested we get a website back in 2020. A website in 2020. Seriously, I moved out as soon as I could afford it. Got my own place about 20 minutes from my parents' house. Close enough to help with the business, but far enough to have my own space. I felt like I was finally doing well. My own place, decent money, learning new skills. I was even thinking about getting my master electrician license, and maybe even starting my own business someday. Sophie, a 29-year-old property manager, and I met about 6 years ago. We were working on a huge rewiring job at these upscale flats downtown. The first time I saw her, she was arguing with some HVAC technicians about their substandard work, getting into the technical specifics of why their installation wasn't up to code. I remember thinking, damn, she actually knows her stuff. Most property managers I dealt with just wanted things done cheaply and quickly, but Sophie was different. She had read through all the electrical codes and knew exactly what she wanted. For the first few weeks, she kept coming around to inspect our work. Not in an annoying way, but because she genuinely wanted to know what we were doing and why. I started timing my lunch breaks for when I knew she'd be making her rounds. We'd talk about the project, then other things. She told me about growing up with her father, a general contractor, and how she learned everything about construction by helping him on jobs. I told her about my desire to update my father's business and expand into more commercial work. She was just so easy to talk to. I could rant about my family turmoil, and she understood. Her brother was also the beloved kid, a hotshot lawyer who could do no wrong. We even joked about forming a support group for responsible siblings. After we finished the apartment job, I figured that was it. But about a week later, she called the office reporting an urgent electrical problem in her own apartment. Dad asked me to check it out. Turns out there was nothing wrong. She just wanted to see me again. I have to say that was a pretty smooth move. We started dating after that. Sophie was different from any other girl I'd dated. She didn't play games or expect me to read her mind. If something bothered her, she'd just say it. If she was happy, you'd know. She also showed genuine interest in my job. She'd helped me study for my licensure examinations and eventually started assisting with the business side of things. Within a year, she was practically running our office, implementing a new scheduling system, upgrading our invoicing, and drafting actual contracts instead of the handwritten quotes we used to use. Dad was initially unhappy about it. He preferred everything on paper. But even he had to admit the firm was running smoother than ever. I finally felt like I was creating something real. We moved in together after 2 years and started talking about marriage, even having children someday. Sophie would joke about our future kids becoming electricians and carrying on the family business. Man, I thought I had everything sorted out. The weird part is my family loved her at first. Mom was constantly calling us over for dinner, asking Sophie for help with computer issues, or soliciting her advice on house renovations. Even Dad warmed up to her once he realized how much she was contributing to the company's growth. We were getting larger contracts, doing more commercial work, and building a solid reputation in the area. Sophie got along well with Alex, too. When I'd get irritated with his latest unsuccessful attempt at something, she would defend him, telling me I should try to understand his point of view better, how growing up unwell might have influenced him. Looking back, I should have recognized that as a huge red flag, but you know how it is when you really trust someone. You don't want to see the signs. We became engaged after 4 years together. Nothing spectacular, just me proposing at home after we finished a massive hospital renovation project we'd been working on together. She'd been staying up late with me, going over blueprints, dealing with contractors. It just felt right, you know? Like we were true partners in everything. Around a year ago, things began to change. Alex had lost another chunk of Dad's money trying to launch a cryptocurrency trading business, came home bankrupt, and Dad, predictably, offered him a job in our office. Just the basics, answering phones, filing papers, organizing appointments. It should have been simple enough, but Alex always managed to screw it up. Sophie started spending more time at my parents' place, supposedly assisting Mom with wedding preparations and such. She claimed it was easier to focus on company documents there while Alex was learning the ropes. I was working most days, so it made sense at the time. Following that, everything began to spiral out of control. I started to notice subtle changes about 8 months before everything blew up. Nothing big at first, just minor details that didn't quite line up. Sophie was spending more time at my parents' house, helping with business matters. She explained she was educating Alex on our new billing system and assisting Mom with wedding plans. Made sense, right? I was out on jobs most days, working my tail off to save money for our future. We planned the entire wedding and talked about buying a property. I wanted to do things correctly, but then other things started happening. Sophie changed her phone's password. She had never hidden her phone before. We knew each other's passwords, it was no big deal. But she started acting strangely about it. She explained that her banking app required her to update security or something. Whatever. I absolutely trusted her, so I didn't think much of it. Then Alex began acting differently. Dude started wearing cologne at work. He used to turn up half the time in the same clothes as yesterday. Now he got all these new clothes and started showing up on time, which was unheard of for him. He was also strangely polite to me, volunteering to stay late at the office and expressing a strong desire to learn the business. Sophie started talking about him differently too. Alex is really getting good at handling the scheduling, or your brother's actually pretty smart when he applies himself. She'd even get angry whenever I complained about him messing something up and started taking his side in family disputes. The atmosphere in the office became strange, too. Janet, our receptionist for the past 15 years, was like a second mother to us. She started giving me these looks while Sophie and Alex were working late together. But whenever I asked what was going on, she'd just say, "Nothing," and change the subject. Once, I returned to the office early from a job because we'd run out of materials. Sophie and Alex were in the break room, giggling over something. There was nothing overtly wrong, but they both jumped as if they'd been caught doing something when I stepped in. Sophie just muttered that they were going over invoices. At 7 p.m. Right. Sophie seemed to talk less about our future. She used to be so enthusiastic about wedding planning, looking at houses online, discussing what kind of family we'd have. Then she just became quiet about it all. She claimed she was just anxious about work. The true red flag I missed was when she stopped visiting job sites to check on projects. It used to be our thing. She'd bring lunch, we'd go over plans, solve problems together. But suddenly she was too busy at work with Alex. We had a large family meal about 6 months ago. Sophie was acting funny all night, barely speaking, constantly checking her phone. Alex kept attempting to make inside jokes with her. Sophie snorted with laughter when he mentioned some insane person at work, but when I questioned what was hilarious, they both just said, "You had to be there." After dinner, on the way home, I finally brought it up. Sophie remained glancing at her phone. "You okay? You seemed off tonight." "Just tired. Work's been crazy." "Yeah, it seems like you and Alex are getting along better these days." She tightened up but tried to keep it casual. "He's not as bad as you always say. He's actually pretty funny when you get to know him." "Funny enough to make you ignore everyone else at dinner? What's that supposed to mean?" "Nothing, just that you've been different lately. Distant. Always on your phone." She became defensive quickly. "Oh, so I'm not allowed to have my own conversations now? Everything has to be about you." That threw me off guard. Sophie never spoke to me like that before. "That's not what I said. Just feels like something's changed. Maybe you're just paranoid. I'm tired of you always complaining about Alex. He's trying his best." I remember getting a horrible, sinking feeling in my stomach, like something was seriously wrong, but I couldn't put my finger on it. She had never defended Alex like that before. "Since when are you team Alex?" "Since I actually got to know him instead of just listening to you bashing him all the time." We drove the rest of the way in silence. Man, all the symptoms were there. The protective attitude, the phone, the inside jokes, the way she suddenly thought Alex was fantastic. But you never want to believe someone you absolutely trust could do that to you. Especially not your own brother. I remember lying there that night, watching her try to sleep and thinking, "Nah, I'm just being paranoid." The next several months were more of the same. Sophie working late, Alex suddenly interested in the business, and me being a complete idiot, working 12-hour days to save for our future, while my brother was stealing my girl right under my nose. Then came the day when everything burst. It was a Tuesday, I remember, because I was working on a large commercial project rewiring a warehouse. Sophie called about 2 p.m., crying so hard I couldn't hear her. She claimed she needed to speak with me in person, and it was urgent. My immediate thought was that something terrible had happened to her parents. I told my colleagues I had a family emergency and drove straight home. I found her sitting in her car in our driveway. She refused to come inside, just sat there gripping the steering wheel as if it was the only thing holding her together. I sat in the passenger seat, waiting for her to say anything. "I'm pregnant," she whispered. For a few seconds, all I felt was pure, exhilarating happiness. We discussed starting a family after the wedding, and suddenly, it was happening. I started talking about how we'd work things out, how we could move the wedding up if necessary. She just kept crying. "There's more," she said, choking back tears. "It might not be yours." Everything within me became absolutely still. My brain initially refused to accept it, as if I needed her to repeat it to ensure I'd heard her correctly. "Might not be mine?" My voice sounded strange, as if it weren't even mine. Who else would it be? I paused. It all connected at once. The late nights, the sudden secrecy with her phone, the strange discomfort whenever I'd mentioned it. "No." I gazed at her, waiting for her to deny it, to tell me I was wrong. She did not. "It's not him," she sighed. My hands tightened into fists. "Sophie." My voice was strong and demanding. "Tell me it's not Alex." She made a broken sound in her throat. It wasn't supposed to happen. I gave a harsh laugh. but there was no comedy in it. "Oh, right. You just tripped and fell into my brother's bed." "It wasn't like that," she replied hastily. "It was one time." I cut her off. "One time?" My head was pounding. "Tell me the truth." "Nothing but quiet." "How long?" Her breathing sounded unsteady. 3 months. Maybe 4. I had to press my hands on my knees to keep myself steady. "Does he know?" My voice was tight and controlled. She nodded. "I told him yesterday." That's when I realized I had to tell you too. I stared at her. She acted as if she wanted me to be relieved she had finally decided to be honest. I got out of the car because I needed air. She followed me, attempting to explain how it wasn't planned, how horrible they both felt, and how they had ended it weeks before. All I could think about was them laughing in the break room during those late-night work sessions. "Were you ever going to tell me if you weren't pregnant?" She did not respond to that. It explained all I needed to know. I hopped into my truck and drove directly to my folks' place. I found Alex in the office, doing jack all as usual. When he saw my face, he knew. I knew. "Listen, bro, I can explain. I don't remember what happened next. It's all a blur, but I recall him on the ground with blood gushing from his nose. Dad and 2 of our employees were pushing me away from him. Alex, despite the blood, began ranting about how I was crazy, how Sophie had come on to him first, and how they were in love." In love? My own brother? The guy who'd seen me plan my entire future with this woman, who sat there at Sunday dinners knowing exactly what he was doing. Dad got between us, tried to calm everyone down, and told us we had to address this like adults. That's when Alex unleashed the next bombshell. "She's having my baby. You can't just ignore that." Dad's face turned white. I guess he wasn't aware of that portion yet. Mom began crying. Janet grabbed her purse and walked away. I found out later that she quit that day, saying she couldn't work for people like them. I glanced at my father and said, "He's your problem now." "I'm done." Dad attempted to stop me, saying, "Son, wait, we can figure this out. Family is family." I told him. Alex ceased being my family the moment he touched my fiancée. I walked out and haven't returned since. Sophie was still at our house when I arrived home. She was sitting on the couch, crying after packing her bags. "I never meant to hurt you," she explained. "It just got complicated." I informed her she had 24 hours to grab her belongings and leave. I didn't care where she went. "Block my number. Lose my address." "What about the baby?" she inquired. "Better hope it's Alex's, because if it's mine, we're doing a DNA test and going through lawyers." She tried to speak more, but I walked away. I drove to my friend Mike's apartment and stayed for a few days while she moved out. After everything happened, I remained at my friend Mike's house for approximately a week. I turned off my phone. I simply needed to comprehend everything. Mike is a real one. Didn't try to offer counsel or anything, simply let me crash. When I eventually put my phone back on, I had about 50 missed calls. The majority from my parents, some from Sophie, and a couple from Alex. That dude has some nerve. But I only listened to Mom's messages. She was crying in the majority of them, pleading with me to come talk to Dad, who claimed to have a solution. I should have known Dad's solution would be manipulative nonsense, but I went anyway, primarily because Mom sounded so distraught. Walking into that house was strange. I found everyone in the living room. Mom looked like she hadn't slept for days. Dad sat in his normal recliner, looking serious, as if he were preparing to give one of his lectures. Alex was also there, with a lovely bruised nose. I'm not going to lie, that felt amazing to see. Dad cleared his throat and smacked me with the diamond. "Son, I've been thinking about how to resolve this situation in a way that benefits everyone. Since you're clearly not willing to work things out with Sophie, and given her condition, I think it makes sense for her and Alex to get married." I actually laughed. I literally laughed in his face. But he wasn't finished. Furthermore, since they'll be starting a family, I think it's appropriate for Alex to take over the business. With Sophie's experience running the office and Alex learning the trade, they could. "Alex learning the trade?" I interrupted him, my voice dripping with disbelief. "He can't even wire a wall outlet without supervision." Dad had the same look he typically does when someone disturbs him. "Language. And your brother has shown real interest in learning. In fact, I want you to train him." Guys, I lost it. I started laughing again, but it was the kind of insane chuckle you get when something is so twisted up that you can't even process it. "Let me get this straight," I remarked, trying to control the shakes. "You want me to train the brother who screwed my fiancée to take over the business I helped build?" while they're married and raising a kid that might be mine. Are you actually insane? Mom began crying again. Alex just sat there, staring at the floor like a coward. Dad took out his final card. This business is still in my name. If you won't help your brother, maybe you should find somewhere else to work. That's when it clicked. All those years of hard effort had been for nothing. All my hard work, the business I brought in, the reputation I earned. It was all insignificant in comparison to precious Alex's latest blunder. I just got up and headed to the door. Mom tried to stop me, but I just said, I'm done. Good luck with your new golden team. Alex eventually spoke up. Bro, wait. I turned around and simply stated, call me bro again, and I'll break more than your nose. Dad raged at me about loyalty and second chances. I did not even look back. The next day, I began calling all of our big clients, including those with whom I had personal relationships. I informed them that I was departing and offered some other reputable contractors they could work with. Dad called, yelling about how I was attempting to damage the business. I told him I was only informing my clients that I would no longer be handling their jobs. It's not my responsibility if they don't want to work with his new ideal team, Alex and Sophie. They genuinely agreed to the entire thing. They married at the courthouse 2 weeks later, as if it were a love story rather than a total betrayal. Dad even backed them up, giving them a down payment on a house as a reward for what they'd done. Meanwhile, I was left standing amid the ruins of all I believed I knew. There was no apology, no meaningful consequences, only the expectation that I move on while they played happy family. So I did. I walked away from it all. I took a position with one of our old competitors, where my work was respected rather than being treated as an afterthought. Better income, genuine recognition, and best of all, no family drama. I pushed everything into starting over and developing my own reputation. I even acquired my master electrician license, something Dad always claimed I wasn't ready for. Turns out, I was more than prepared. I just had to get out of his shadow to prove it. I didn't hear much about the family business for approximately 4 months. Mom would occasionally text me, but I requested her not to inform me about Alex or Sophie. I didn't need the stress in my life. Then last week, I received a call from Mom at approximately 11 p.m. She started crying again, claiming Dad needed to talk to me right away. I almost hung up, but she seemed quite disturbed. Please, she asked. I know you have every right to say no, but we're about to lose everything. I was truly curious and remained on the line. Dad came on, and his voice was different, not the typical I know everything tone. He sounded broken. It turns out that allowing Alex to run the business was exactly the nightmare I predicted. This genius screwed up 3 large commercial jobs so horribly that one customer has threatened to sue us for code violations. I'm talking about fundamental things like incorrect gauge wiring, missing ground wires, and junction boxes put without covers. Mistakes that may practically burn a building down. And things get better. Instead of recruiting qualified electricians, he appointed his drinking buddy from college as chief electrician. The guy's whole electrical experience involved changing light bulbs in his flat. No license, no credentials, and probably couldn't tell the difference between a voltage meter and a screwdriver. They run a real professional operation there. Then there's the monetary side. Alex reportedly neglected to pay their liability insurance. Consider this. You're in the electrical company. They'd lose everything with one accident or fire. But hey, why spend money on frivolous things like insurance when you can pocket the cash instead? Because that's exactly what he was doing. Accepting cash payments from consumers while conveniently failing to record them in the books. And the financial genius had been taking out multiple loans against the firm without informing Dad. We're talking significant money here. And the best part, nobody can figure out where all that money went. Nothing in his bank account, nothing in his investments. It all vanished like magic. I'm betting his new automobile and the luxury clothes he's been wearing could be a hint. It's almost impressive how thoroughly he ruined everything in just a few months. Dad spent 30 years building this firm, and Alex virtually destroyed it in less than half a year. That's what happens when you hand over a profitable business to someone whose greatest accomplishment was becoming the beer pong team captain in college. Dad finally found out when their insurance was canceled, and he began looking into the books. Alex had been concealing all of the difficulties by tampering with the papers, as Sophie had taught him during all of those late hours at work. Most of their seasoned members quit. I can't blame them. Alex treated them poorly, and checks began to bounce. Janet, our previous receptionist, evidently tried to notify Dad about strange activity in the accounts months ago, but he refused to listen. Dad's voice was shaking as he told me all of this, and then he slapped me with it. "Son, I need you to come back. Help me fix this. We can make you majority owner, give you full control." I told him that I needed to think about it. He started to become desperate. "Please, we're going to lose everything. The business, the house, everything I built. Your mother, she's not handling this well." Then he played his last card. Alex and Sophie split up. She left last week, just disappeared. Left a note saying not to contact her. The baby, we don't even know where she is. Alex wasn't daddy material after all. My response was cold. Not my circus, not my monkeys anymore. Dad began with his typical guilt trip about family and devotion. I cut him off. "Remember when I begged you not to give the business to Alex? When I told you he'd run it into the ground? What was it you said? Oh yeah, family is family. Well, this is your family's mess now. By the way, if you're still with me through this unbelievable story, make sure to hit subscribe. More shocking tales are coming." Mom called back, weeping about how they might be homeless soon. That hit hard. Mom did not deserve any of this. She's the only one who's ever attempted to keep the family together, the only one who hasn't taken sides, even when she probably should have. I told her she could come and stay with me at any moment. It's just her, not Dad, not Alex. "I can't leave your father," she explained. I exhaled. "Then that's your choice, Mom, but my door is only open for you." It sucked knowing she would never go through with it. A few days later, Sophie texted me. "I know I'm the last person you want to hear from, but I need help. The baby's yours." I got the test results. Alex took all my money and disappeared. "Please, I don't have anywhere else to go." I read it, stared at it, and set my phone down. Did not respond. Not going to. But damn if it didn't sit there like a stone in my gut. Like a punch I knew was coming but couldn't handle. It should have meant something. It should have been life-changing. But all I felt was tiredness, as if I had finally climbed out of this mess just to have it reach back and try to drag me under again. And for the first time, I didn't know what to do. Dad showed up at my place last night while I was still trying to figure out what was going on. There was no notice. Simply standing there when I arrived home from work, looking grungy, wearing an old jacket I recalled from my childhood. Hadn't shaven in what seemed like weeks. The first thing I noticed was that he was driving Mom's old Civic rather than his truck. Later, I found out they needed to sell his truck to pay off some of the business's debts. "Can we talk?" he requested, not demanding as usual. He truly sounded exhausted. I invited him in because I really wanted him to see how I was doing without his assistance. My new house is quite nice. I received it following my last promotion. Nothing spectacular, but it's mine. I earned it myself. He stood in my living room, looking bewildered, as if he didn't know how to communicate with me other than by delivering commands. Finally, he sat down and began pouring everything out. The business is essentially dead. They're being sued by 2 business clients over Alex's rubbish work. After that, the majority of their home customers abandoned them, complaining about jobs that were left unfinished. The bank is coming for the house next month. "I should have listened to you," he explained. This is the first time I've ever heard him confess to being incorrect about anything. I told him that was good to hear, but it was late. Then he took out this folder. Inside there were papers to transfer 100% ownership of the company to me, with no strings attached. "You can save it," he replied. "You always knew what you were doing. I was just too proud to see it. Do you know what's crazy? 6 months ago, this would have been everything I wanted. All that validation, finally having power, and Dad admitting I was correct. But while glancing at those papers, I wondered, what happened to Alex? Dad's face simply crumpled. Alex cleared out their savings account last week and disappeared. Left this note about needing to find himself, or some BS. Classic Alex, causes a mess and then flees from the consequences. "He's still your brother," Dad explained calmly. "No," I replied. "He stopped being my brother the day he decided family loyalty meant nothing to him." That struck him hard. Good. He began telling me how he could help me restore the firm, how we could collaborate and be a genuine family again. I had to laugh. "Dad, you're not hearing me. I don't want the business. I don't want your help. I'm done. But this is your legacy too. Everything we built. Everything I built, you gave to Alex. Remember? You chose him, even after he slept with my fiancée. Now you get to live with that choice. He tried guilt-tripping me again about mom's anguish over the family falling apart. I told him the same thing as before. She's welcome here anytime. Just her. She won't leave me, he said. Then that's her choice. And living with the consequences of your actions? That's yours. He sat for a long time before asking quietly, where did I go wrong? I wanted to lay it all out. All the years of favoritism, the continual justifications for Alex, how he discarded someone who genuinely cared about the business for someone who regarded it as a piggy bank to rob. But what's the point? You didn't go wrong, Dad. You got exactly what you always wanted. Alex being in charge. How's that working out? He left shortly thereafter. He looked around 20 years older walking out than when he walked in. I received a text from Mom this morning. They'll be moving in with her sister in Ohio next month. Dad is going to try to find a job there. She asked me once more if I would contemplate assisting them in their stay here. I informed her that my offer stood. She is welcome to stay with me at any moment, but I am tired of burning myself on fire to keep others warm. Sophie still sends texts concerning the baby. I advised her to call my lawyer. I haven't heard from Alex, and I do not expect to. You know what's weird? I imagined that witnessing them lose everything would be incredibly satisfying, as if karma was finally punishing them for what they had done to me. But honestly, I don't feel anything. Not pleased, not sad. Just finished. I began dating someone new last month, taking it slowly. She asked about my family, and I simply stated that we are not close. Maybe someday I'll tell her the whole tale, but for now, I'm focused on creating my own life. There is no drama, no poisonous familial BS, and no attempting to gain favor that never comes. I informed Sophie that everything would now be handled by lawyers. Will I be present for my child? Yeah, I am not my brother. I do not abandon my responsibilities. But Sophie destroyed that bridge. We'll work out custody and support through the courts. She made her choices, and now she must live with the consequences, just like everyone else in this mess. For the time being, I'm simply trying to keep my head straight, focusing on work, my new relationship, and creating something unique to me. Some nights I lie awake, thinking about how messed up it is that my children will be born into all of this drama. But you can't undo other people's mistakes. You can only strive to follow your conscience. Sometimes the best vengeance is simply living well. So this is it, guys. The end of this chapter. Writing it all out truly helped me sort through some of my thoughts. And yes, since people keep asking, if Sophie can show the baby exists and is mine, I will step forward, but only through legal means, no direct interaction. What would you have done if your entire family betrayed you like this? I'm genuinely curious to hear your thoughts down in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories.